Hey guys, I want to talk about two subjects today. One, what is Australia? What is Australia? Two, this is what I coined, which I've known since I was a teenager. What I've coined because of the hatred in Australia between New South Wales and Victoria and the Murray River that divides, that's the Murray River. That's like the Mississippi, it's big. The Murray-Darling Basin, it's massive. And this is what I call the Great Wall of Victoria and the rivalry between these two states. Now, so first of all, what is Australia? All right, so the question, how did I get to that? Is that the first image I had? Yeah, okay. So is that Australia? 1911, okay, all right. Remember the Great Wall of China, of Victoria. Oh, is it that? I don't know. Could it be that? The Limaroa? The Dutch? Well, Tropic of Capricorn. No Tasmania. The Portuguese? The Porky Cheese? Lisboa? Vamos para a Austrália, vamos viver em Lisboa, Austrália, Novo Cabo, São António, Silvestre, Porto Seguro, Cabo, Santana, Minneapolis? Huh, hot diggity. I wonder if Australia is this. I don't know. Erie Territory? That purple stuff there? Yeah, Northern Territory is pretty shonky. It looks like a bear. Queensland, ha. Oh, they squashed Victoria. Dang. Oh, the Dutch and the Welsh. And who is in the middle? The French now. Okay. Jeez. Nouvelle-Provence. Nouveau-Piémont. Nouveau-Gascogne. Alt-Australie. Marion de France. Allo-ou-Arnais. Territoire occidental. I wonder if it's French. Certainly got the red, white and blue. Supposed to be the first map of Australia. Saul? Oh. Australia. New Holland? Okay, so the Dutch are still hanging around. The Welsh are there. South Australia. Oh boy. Oh, come on. The Dutch again. It's always the Dutch. Freaking. James Land? King James? I don't know, Swanee, I think. Sophia Hafen. Was that Islam? I don't know. Las Bahias from the Bahamas. I don't know. What's this? Angu. Mistras Australias. I don't know. Van Diemen's Land. Gee. Demons everywhere. The Dutch. 1623, Central Square, Sydney, New South Wales. for entertainment purposes only. The Dutch. Who's over here? What's that? Is that Australia? Yep, we found the right one. No. The Swedes? The Pommies. Everyone hates the Pommies. Who are these guys? What's this? That's the Dutch. Go home. Back to Holland. Look at Portugal. Cordoba. Woof. Oh, come on now. We've got Reino Albuquerque. Hot diggity. Western Australia is called Albuquerque over here. Antipodes. Oh, this is where they got the down under. Provence. Oh no, this, what language is this? This is Nordic. Oh, so the Nords. Norway. Who came over here? The other upside down Antipodes. Down under. Unorganized territory. Yeah, we know. It's all like unorganized. Because there's fat, ugly, stupid, sellout politicians in Australia. There's not one good looking one. Never in the history of Australia has there been a good looking politician. It doesn't happen. That's why they're unorganized. Unorganized. Swan River, claimed by United Kingdom and Maratha. There's Maratha again. Claimed by the Netherlands and Marathia. Arthur's Land. King Arthur, good boy. I hope you brought Guinevere. She'd be handy in the hot tropics of Australia. Just saying, you know. What's this? Claimed by United Kingdom. Good on you, Pommies. What? Hot diggity. Adenum. It looks like Italy. Is that Australia? I don't know. The Dutch again. The French again. The British provinces of Australia. The Darling, the Flinders, the Murray, New Georgia, the Elizabeth. Queen Elizabeth, oh yeah, of course. She plants her ass all over the planet. That fat bum. Forest! Newlander. I wonder if that's Australia. Colonial territories of the Australian continent, 1840. Murray. So we're going to talk about the Murray River. So, let's get rid of this. So, I used to live in Albury Wodonga on the Murray River. And this is the longest railway station in the southern hemisphere. And it's on the Murray River. It had paddle steamers just like the Mississippi. And that's the longest station in the southern hemisphere. Okay, so you can see it's Tartarian. Now, the railway gauge in New South Wales was wider than the railway gauge in Victoria. So here is where the trains stopped and unloaded all the cargo, all the freight, and then carried it over to the trains that would go to Melbourne, 3 hours down the track. Rivalry number one. Now, there was other interstate railway gauge rivalry as well, because you just saw what I just showed you about what is Australia. What the fuck is it? I don't know. But I know about this because I've lived here. Been here many times. So, here's another rivalry. You know how in America the horses, thoroughbred racehorses run counterclockwise all over the United States. The Kentucky Derby, the Belmont, the Preakness, Saratoga. What do you got? The Flamingo in Miami. You've got Santa Anita, the Breeders' Cup. It's all counterclockwise. Well, Melbourne also, the Melbourne Cup, one of the first races of classics in the world. Older than Saratoga, older than Belmont, older than the Kentucky Derby, and older than the Preakness, which I will show you, because I'm trying to establish something that I've known since I was in love with Melbourne as a teenager. I used to go to Wangaratta, and I used to pick up the Southern Cross train. I'd shoot straight down. I was 14, and I'd go down and get Led Zeppelin bootlegs. And I'd hang out in Fitzroy, the Spanish Quarter. And I also used to walk around and marvel at the buildings and think to what my mother used to say. When I came to Australia in 1956, I went to Carlton, Melbourne, and she was 14, and she was taken through the city of Melbourne. She said she couldn't believe it looked like Rome. She said, how can Australia be 120 years old and look like Melbourne looks like New York. It is the New York of Australia, and hated by all the other states, or at least jealous of Victorians. I'm Victorian and Melburnian. And I know, because when I went to New South Wales the first time, I learnt about this rivalry when I was 17. I went to a market and I saw all these badges and all these stickers, you know, like bumper stickers and what have you, and they were all against Victorians. What's the best thing about Melbourne? The flies. And I'm watching in the markets, and I'm watching all this hatred for Victoria. And I'm like, I'm Victorian, you know, I better not tell any of these New South Welshmen that I'm Victorian and from Melbourne, because I'll get killed. So I kept that a secret. You don't tell people that you're Victorian when you go to Sydney. Now, here's the thing, right? Sydney and Queensland, they run clockwise. Now let me show you this. I'm going to show you some horse races of two of Australia's great fillies mares, Winx and Black Caviar. Now Winx is from New South Wales, so you're going to see her running clockwise. Her 33 straight wins. I'm not going to show them all to you, but I'm going to show you where she races in New South Wales, and then she goes to the Melbourne for the Cox Plate, which is the Grand Prix of Victorian Australian racing. It's like second to the Melbourne Cup. And she won it 4 times in a row, Winx. But she had to learn to go the other way. Now, one of my favourite horses, because when I was a teenager, I've been a horseback rider and racehorse rider since I was a boy. So, Kingston Town, the King, they call him. So in Australia, there's Far Lap, Burnborough, and Kingston Town. Now, Kingston Town was in the late 70s and 80s, and he was the king. He was the king. He won the Cox Plate 3 times, right? But he was a New South Wales horse. He was running clockwise, right? So, and he was winning and winning. They sent him down to Melbourne to win a Cox Plate and some shit. And he was coming last. You know, I don't know, third, fourth. He didn't win anything in the Victorian season. So they had to train him to learn how to go counterclockwise, like they do in the United States and all of the Americas. So there's another rivalry. Let's show you that in action. So we've got Winx, which is the half sister. Winx is the half sister of Zenyatta. Now Zenyatta, she won 19 in a row. Winx has the record. She's the biggest earning horse in the history of history. $38 million. 25 grade 1 stakes races. No other horse can claim that in history, right? So here she is in Queensland, and you can see clearly clockwise.
The outside, 300 metres to go.
There she is.
Imperial Ass has gone to the lead from Colin.
Oh, by the way, she's a come from behind her, just like Zenyatta. Now, she's the half-sister of Zenyatta. Sire, Street Cry, from Street Sense, right? So they both have Street Cry, one of the greatest sires in history. Now, she's got the smallest stride of all the fillies that have had her great success, and Zenyatta, 17 Hands, has the longest stride. But they're both the same in their DNA, and this proves that breeding works, because Winx and Zenyatta are a clear example of come from behind horses. They're rarely in the front, but watch what happens when she goes to Victoria. So this is a race that she won.
Here's Winx. She's winding up, and have a look at her go. Inside the 200 metres mark, and Winx has raced to the lead from Imperial Ass and Grateful Allen, and this is a monstrous win of the Oaks. Winx is down, 3 lengths on Grateful Allen.
Right, Strawberry Boy leads from decision time and hard test.
All right, here's another one coming from behind. Now she's still running clockwise, so she's in Sydney here.
Strawberry Boy is still the leader from 9th lead.
Where is she?
Hard test is out very wide. They're followed further back by Winx is about 5 lengths off them. 9th Legion hits up.
Here she is.
To hit the lead from Strawberry Boy.
That's what she does.
John's driving through. Winx flying. Oh, did she get there? Into the outside.
Oh, okay. I wanted to go to Victoria. So here she is clockwise again. She'll be over here. There she is.
Closing from Garamosa. Hooked in Sons of John, but Winx is starting to unleash with a powerful sprint. And Winx races up to hit the lead. She shot away in the Epsom. It's all over.
Right.
Sons of John was seen for the miners with Bowman Home.
Just at the clip off heels there.
Now, look at this. There she is at the Cox Plate, the first one that she won. She won 4 in a row. This is the Grand Prix of racing. I used to live near this track, Moonee Valley, Essendon. I used to live in Essendon, and I used to go past the Moonee Valley track pretty much once a week. So this is Winx now. There she is. She's leading for the first time, not coming from behind. The most prestigious race in Australia outside of the Melbourne Cup. And she's going the other way. Now remember, Kingston Town could not win in Victoria in his first season. In his second season, he won everything.
Winx got the dream run and shot to the lead from the cleaner. Criterion trying to get going with Highland Rail. They're followed by Hartnell and Happy Trails right off the track, but Winx is away and gone round the home turn. 3 lengths in front of Highland Rail, Criterion, and then came the cleaner, but Winx is well clear from Criterion and Highland Rail. Winx kept going by Hugh Bowman. What a win! Winx has fallen on the Cox Plate by 4 lengths to Criterion. Highland Rail ran third, Bonacci 4.
Okay, so you got the point with Winx. Let's go to another horse from Victoria, Black Caviar, the sexy reincarnation of Ruffian. Yeah, undefeated as well. 25 wins, undefeated sprinter. You can see she's running in Melbourne. She's a Melbourne horse. Winx is a New South Wales horse. Winx is running around like that. Black Caviar's running counterclockwise, right?
Black Caviar under a hole, won it by 5 lengths. Black Caviar opened up 3 lengths around the turn from Noesis. Miraculous Miss running on fairly well, but Black Caviar is all class, and she coached down to keep the perfect record by about 4 lengths on the line. It's Black Caviar at the 200, led by a length and a half. Wanted and Corsair, and then Rarefied out wider, and further back is Total Spree starting to hit the line. Black Caviar in front, Wanted coming off her back. Black Caviar 3/4 in front. Black Caviar, she wins again. Black Caviar frittered away around the home turn. Then came La Rocket and Royal Ida, but it's Black Caviar by 2 lengths. Here the Angels can't answer this super filly, who races away to make it 5 out of 5. What a star! Black Caviar, 2.5 here the Angels.
Okay, so on 6 races in Victoria. So you can see she's. This is her first 5 races. I didn't realise. I wanted to try and watch you when she went to Sydney to race at Randwick and Rosehill Gardens, right? So I might just go forward.
Truce down the outswing, and Black Caviar, the favourite from Troopers Way. She's canted in front. Stop Caviar 100 metres. A good battle. Is going to be easy. Kicks away. 4 lengths for the 150 metres lead. They are away now. 2 lengths.
See, she's running in Melbourne all the time. Oh, there you go. All right, now. Where is she? There she is. She's beautiful, like Ruffian. Both undefeated. So, see? I think this may have been a first race. I think there was one, but I may have missed it before. Yeah, because we're halfway. She would be like, this would probably be what, 14th or 15th race, but here she's in
And then came
Sydney.
Engine Look. It's A-List in front, Black Caviar. She's starting to knuckle down to the task now. Here she comes, Black Caviar. She raced up and hit the lead. And the Black Caviar, the best in the world, races away and wins it by about 3 lengths to the roar of the crowd. Black Caviar.
Oh, another one, the second one. So the BTC Cup, so another one, so she stayed in Sydney.
Coming to the 300, Black Caviar, sprinted up on the outside of Haylist, and they're followed by Buffering, but Black Caviar is the leader. She got away from Haylist with 100 metres left to go. Start number 13, unlucky for some, not for this one, but it is all
There you go, and now she's back in Victoria. Okay, so you got the point. I picked 2 of the best fillies in history. Kim Shem was the best, 54 straight wins, undefeated in 7 European countries, Hungarian horse, King Shem from the 1800s. But Black Caviar and Winx are up there, and Zenyatta and Ruffian. Anyway, it doesn't matter, but see, now she's in Melbourne. Now, what a way to screw up with horses training and trainers. Imagine Bart Cummings, right? So he's training for the Melbourne Cup, which is counterclockwise, and he's training, and then he wants to bring that horse to win the Sydney Cup. I don't know how he would have the patience to retrain that horse, because Kingston Town couldn't get it, right? And Bart Cummings is a great trainer. He won the Melbourne Cup, I think, 10 or 12 times. Historic. But anyway, why would you have clockwise in Victoria, New South Wales, Victoria, South Australia and Western Australia, counterclockwise, but South Australia and Queensland go clockwise. Now let's get off that subject. I want to show you something interesting about Melbourne. What do we got here? The railway gauges. Have a look at this, guys. Look how old the Melbourne Cup is. 1861. This is older than Saratoga, Belmont Stakes, the Preakness and Kentucky Derby. The Melbourne Cup. And Archer won it by 6 lengths. 2 years in a row, he won it twice. 61's Archer is a superstar horse in history, right? So, see, what I'm trying to get at is What is Australia, and why is there such a great rivalry between Melbourne and Sydney, or Victoria and New South Wales, and more in particular, Melbourne and Victoria against all the other states? They say, the reasons historians will say is, well, Melbourne was never a penal colony. Sydney was, and all the other cities were. Melbourne is the culture capital of Australia. It's the sports capital of Australia. They have their own football code. And in New South Wales, they didn't play it. They played rugby. They hated Australian rules football, invented, supposedly, in Melbourne, Australia, Victoria. They've got their own code. Melbourne has its own code. How many cities in the world can claim that? None. But Melbourne can. I'm building up to something, right? This is one of the most prestigious, high-paying award races of the classics in history. Far Lap won it in 1930. Okay. I'm building somewhere with this, guys, right? So let's go to these other. So we did the Australia one. Let's go to Melbourne. Got some stuff to share here. So, it's supposed to be, how do you do this? Oh. The world's oldest extant professional football club of any code is the Melbourne Football Club, founded in 1858. Melbourne play Australian rules football, Aussie rules, in the Australian Football League, the AFL. Forget about that. So, Melbourne has the oldest football club in the world. What about Chelsea? Come on, man. Founded in 1905. They forgot that the Australians have been playing football for 60 years already and had a club and were organised, and the richest club in the world. What are the Pommies, slow or something? A bit dopey? Manchester United. They've got to be more intelligent up north, right? 1878. Oh, good. So yeah, they must have been going to Australia and working out that football's a thing, because the best code is Aussie rules football. Yes, it is. Yeah, it's not like soccer, you know, where you don't score a goal, 0-0, and there's violence in the stadium because it's a low-scoring game. In Aussie rules, the highest scoring game, which I went to, Essendon versus North Melbourne, round 16, 2001, and the greatest comeback in history, 69 points down, Essendon defeated the Kangaroos, the Bombers, and Essendon is where my son was born, by the way. So they defeated them. They scored 27 goals, and North Melbourne scored 25 goals. Now, that's like a basketball game. You'll never have that in soccer. Soccer is boring. Watch Homer Simpson, The Simpsons, and the soccer game. And that's soccer. I mean, I love soccer, football, don't get me wrong, I love it. But it's, come on, man. Get rid of the goalie or the offside rule, or make the goal square bigger so that there's more scoring and that you can tell which was the better side. With Australian rules football, you don't get that because it's high scoring. Alright, so we already looked at this. The Melbourne Cup Classic was first run in 1861. Saratoga, Dang, 1863. Oh, I better go up here, right? Let's go back up here. Belmont Stakes, 1866. No, it was built. Built in Stockman, Jerome, and financed by August Belmont, for whom the race. The first race in 1867 saw the filly Ruthless win. Okay, well there you go. Melbourne Cup's still older. How can Melbourne have a classic before New York? Isn't the US of A older? No. You saw the true Australia, guys. All those maps. They've all been. Australians really don't know what Australia is. Anyway, the Preakness in Baltimore, at Pimlico. Well, where is it? I love this race. It's like the Cox Plate, this one. It's one of the Triple Crown. So the first Triple Crown is the Kentucky Derby, then in Louisville, Kentucky, then Baltimore, right, Maryland, and then the Belmont Stakes in New York, just off Broadway. And anyway, where was I going? So there you go. First run in 1973. Dang. Epsom Derby. Now this is different. Here we've got 1661. Now in Italy, many will argue that the oldest race that is extant, probably it's not extant actually, is the Palio in Siena in Italy. And I've been there. I've been to that Palio, to that horse ring track, hippodrome. But so this is old England. Okay, so but I'm getting somewhere. Kentucky Derby. Yeah, well, we just said that. Okay, they're all okay. So back to the question: what is Australia? And were the Victorians and the Melburnians the unique state, the unique city? And by the way, Melbourne is the #1 top position most livable city in the world. I mean, they scored it. Let's have a look at that. They scored Melbourne. I remember when I was playing music on the streets, it was Melbourne, most livable city in the world. Melbourne, most city, year after year, year after year after year. Most livable list. Melbourne's 4th over here, but record. It'll be Melbourne. Copenhagen is the most livable. Oh, okay. Year for year, annual list. I don't know. I'm probably putting too much information here. Come on, I've seen this list. Dang diddly. Anyway. Oh no. Most livable city in the world. What should I put in here, bro? Most livable city in the world. Last 10 years, okay. Anyway, look, Melbourne's up there. There is a list. No, don't worry. That doesn't. That fixes itself, that problem. But there is a list, and I've seen. You know, I don't know, some Canadian freaking place. I think Calgary or something. But Melbourne's always been on top. Anyway, so getting back to the whole. The wall, the Great Wall, the Murray River, the Great Wall of Victoria, we'll call it. It could be the Great Wall of New South Wales, because imagine how stupid it would be for businessmen to decide to have different gauge railway between the two richest states and productive in Australia. There's got to be a reason for it. I don't know what it is. But it's a fact. Why is the sport of kings one of the favourite sports in Australia? Horse racing. Why would Sydney and Melbourne, the most prestigious, they run 3 or 4 of the world's top 20 prestigious races in the world in Sydney and Melbourne. Why would they run counterclockwise and clockwise? Now, there were other things, but they're not coming to mind about this thing between... See, Melbourne is like New York, and I see Sydney as Los Angeles. I've lived in both the cities. I've lived in Sydney for about a year, and I lived in Melbourne for 20 years, right? So they have their good sides and their bad sides, but they're different. And so my accent, being Melburnian, Victorian, will be only detected mostly by Australians. So when I moved up to Queensland in 2014 to 2018, they picked it. Most people knew that I was from Victoria. They would just say, "What part of Victoria from?" Just out of the blue, you know. So anyway, I think I've done what I wanted to talk about. What really is history? What is Australia? What was all that weird shit? You saw it. I mean, I love the name. I reckon we should call it this. It's a real hot diggity name. I want that one. Ulimarawa. Ulimarawa. Arawa. I want that one. So let's start a thing. Oh, 1628. With land. 1616. 1642. Who's this? Din. Nitzland. Botany Bay. Huh? Mount Warning. I used to live near Mount Warning, right? So why was it called Mount Warning? Because it's Byron Bay, famous surfing capital of Australia, really, and hippie capital of Australia. Now, Mount Warning is when the sun comes, when the light of the sun hits, it hits that mountain first. Mount Warning. So it warms the rest of the land. It hits Mount Warning first. That's the easternmost point in Australia. But anyway, look, I want that version. So what do you guys think? Why don't we do a petition, or who do we got to do to get that changed? Australia's like dumb as jacket. In Australia, like, One of my favourite comedians is Steve Hughes. Shout out Steve Hughes. He is fucking funny. And he goes, yeah, Australians, they built an opera house in Sydney, nothing more than an Aussie would, want more than to build this great opera house, I mean, opera is like, because the typical Australia is going to football, going surfing, they don't, typically, right? And he says, and we're not very good at naming their stuff, like we have the sandy desert. Well, duh. Victoria's a name, New South Wales a name, but then Queensland, but then the other bits we call Western Australia, Northern Australia, and the northern bit over there, up there, So, but anyway, he does it a lot funny. You've got to see Steve Hughes, comedian, Australian comedian, and when he talks about Australians naming things, the sandy desert or the snowy mountains, the snowy mountain range. Okay, because it's got snow. You couldn't have named it something else. What else was there? Anyway, so I think that's the sexiest Australia I've ever seen. A Limaroa. I'm going to start a thing. Maybe what do you call it? A movement. I'm going to create a movement. Entertainment purposes only. I'm going to create a movement to get it changed back to that. Fuck Australia. It's a dumb name. Australia. So Western Australia. Of course it's Western. At least in the US they had class, Illinois, Mississippi, Missouri, Oregon, California. The names were sexy. The western bit, the southern bit, the northern bit, and the sandy desert. That was brilliant name. Anyway, I'm out. See you on the next one.